In this video, I'll be showing you my top 5 best and easiest support heroes in Dota 2 for beginners. There are many support heroes to pick in Dota and it can be very confusing, but after this video you'll have a good idea of some of the easier and less frustrating heroes to play. Support players, kudos to you guys. You help protect carry players like myself from getting our butts handed to us in lane by sacrificing your own lives to save ours. So thank you for taking one for the team. I'm really selling this, aren't I? Oh well. Let's see our first support hero.
Dazzle!
Dazzle has pretty much everything that you could want in a support. Well, except for a stun, and maybe a silence and a purge. Okay, maybe he doesn't have everything, but I guess that's why you get 5 heroes per team. Well, Dazzle's a super support anyway. He has damage, harass, healing, more damage, and even invincibility. But seriously, you still want more? Alright, while Dazzle might not have a stun, he more than makes up for it with his ability to turn fights around with his amazing skill set. His first ability, Poison Touch, is a crowd control spell which causes heavy damage over time as well as slowing the enemy. What makes his ability even more amazing is that it refreshes every time the enemy gets attacked. What? Yep, exactly. This thing is so powerful it can literally stop heroes from coming into the lane because they just get so frustrated with you chasing them down while they tick lower and lower. This makes your carry's life much easier and they'll love you for it. Now, perhaps the enemies worked out how to beat your first skill and now they're in the lane and are beating on your carry. Or perhaps your mid hero just got initiated on and is about to die. Well, never mind that, just throw your Superman cape, aka Shallow Grave, onto your teammate to prevent them from being killed for 5 whole seconds. This ability is amazing and can turn fights around if well timed. Just be careful though, this does not stop certain instant kill abilities such as Axe's Culling Blade. Yo, Dazzle.
Yes!
What is your favorite ability?
Shadow Wave!
Alright, this one has to be one of my favorites and obviously Dazzle's favorite ability of his. Shadow Wave is a bouncing healing spell which can heal up to 7 units, including himself at max level. What makes this ability great though is when enemies are near a stack of your teammates or creeps, you can heal bomb them, dealing significant damage to them the more your allies are healed. At the highest level, this can heal 980 health, which also means that it can deal 980 damage if all the bounces hit on the enemy.
Zap!
Finally, Dazzle's ultimate, Bad Juju, is probably one of the strangest ultimates as it's actually a passive ability. This one reduces the cooldowns on all of your abilities and items, as well as inflicting an armor reduction debuff on all nearby enemies every time you cast. This stacks up, so casting a lot of spells in a team fight can really hurt the enemy, especially if you have strong physical damage carries in your game. Dazzle is certainly a great hero to try out and a lot of fun to play, so make sure you give him a go. Alright, now number 2 I covered in my top 10 heroes for beginners, but Lich definitely deserves a mention here.
I am the dead of winter.
Yeah, alright mate, thanks for reminding me. Lich is another great support hero and is a good pick if you seem to die often as he is slightly tankier than a lot of other supports. He's also an amazing team fighter and can deal heavy damage with his abilities, especially from his ultimate. But first, his Frost Blast is a strong spell which deals damage to the main target, enemies close to the main target, and also slowing all affected for 4 seconds. But his second ability is probably the best one in the early game. Frost Shield is a single target spell which reduces incoming damage to you or your teammate, but also deals several explosions in an area around the target, dealing damage and slowing enemies. This one is great to initiate fights with as you can throw it down on your teammate, such as Juggernaut, who can then waltz in and start spinning while the enemy is slowed. Don't forget, it also helps to reduce damage, so you can place this one on yourself and it will help you to escape if you're in trouble. Sinister Gaze, his third ability, locks down and draws an enemy towards you, which can also be really useful if you want to bring them over a cliff. But his ultimate is truly where he comes into his own. If there's a team fight breaking out and enemies are bunched up, this is the perfect time to unleash your Chain Frost. This chilly spell bounces around the enemies, dealing huge damage on each bounce and also slowing the enemy's movement and attack speed at the same time.
That's quite a freeze frame!
This is truly devastating in fights, but just make sure that the enemies are close enough so that you can get the maximum number of bounces and damage off as possible. Right in the middle at number 3 is Witch Doctor, and if you haven't heard that song that just played, I'll make sure to put a link in the description so you can check it out, as it's pretty cool. Witch Doctor is a really fun support hero, and can also be a devastating gank type hero as well. I love to pair this guy with a relatively strong early game carry like Lifesteal or Juggernaut, as they pair well with his Maledict ability, which deals bonus damage over time based on the damage already inflicted to the enemy. Basically, the more damage the enemy takes under this ability, the more damage will be dealt to them on each major tick, which can be really deadly when combined with high burst damage teammates. His first ability, Paralyzing Cask, helps you to land your Maledict by stunning the enemy as well as bouncing around to stun multiple enemies or the same enemies multiple times.
Oh, look at it go!
Voodoo Restoration is his third ability and is a really strong channeled healing spell which costs mana to activate as well as mana per second to keep channeling. It can heal up to 40 health per second, which is already pretty good, but at level 25 you can also heal up to an additional 1.5% health per second if you take the level 25 talent, which is really strong in teamfights. His ultimate can also be a lot of fun, especially if you can land the Paralyzing Cask Maledict combo. The Death Ward is a channeled spell which deals heavy attack damage and attacks the closest enemy very quickly. Now this spell is insanely strong in teamfights, but combine this with an Agnum Scepter and your attacks will bounce up to 4 times, destroying the enemy team. Keep in mind though that as soon as you use this spell, you'll become a target for a stun, so try to keep yourself hidden or consider getting a Glimmer Cape to hide yourself once you start channeling. Alright, now the heroes I've gone through so far are great support heroes, and a lot of them are very deadly, but I think out of all of them, the one who is probably the deadliest is Lion.
Feel the rage of a mage.
This guy is extremely dangerous, especially to mobile heroes who rely on their high movement speed or escape spells to get in and out very quickly. His skills are geared towards stopping enemies in their tracks and then dealing extreme nuke damage to them in a split second. First off, we have Earth Spike, which stuns and damages all enemies within its range and straight line trajectory. His second ability, Hex, is an instant disable which has no cast time, making it extremely deadly for those quick heroes as they'll have no chance to react to your spell. Hex turns your enemies into little critters that can't do anything for a few seconds.
That's a good look for you.
This can also be really useful if you want to cast your third ability, Mana Drain, on an enemy for longer than a second. This one does exactly what it says it does. It drains the enemy's mana and it replenishes your own. This one is really good for annoying the enemy and minimizing how dangerous they can be. And finally we get to Lion's ultimate ability, which is probably the single most powerful damage nuke in the game. Now, do you like to kill steal? Then this is the moment and the hero to kill steal with. Finger of Death rips an enemy target for up to 850 damage, but not only that, it gets more powerful every time you get a kill with it. With enough kills, you can literally start to one-shot enemies, which is just insane for a support hero. Just remember though that you are a support and you should be using your spells to help your teammates out and not just steal all the kills. Alright, and lucky last is Rasta.
I am Shadow Shaman.
Now SS is similar to Lion in the sense that he is a support hero that has a lot of crowd control spells, but he is more geared towards pushing down towers than dealing significant single target damage. Charmian has probably the longest single target lockdown spells in the game, which also make him deadly for fast escape type heroes. He has a Hex, just like Lion, which is an instant cast spell, rendering the target useless for a few seconds. His third spell, Shackles, is a channeled disable, which holds a single enemy for up to 5 seconds, and this can even be extended to 7.5 seconds with his level 20 talent. This is a crazy long time, and it's really amazing as you can pretty much permanently disable an enemy if you also take the negative 5 second Hex cooldown. You can continually chain the two together and lock someone down forever, or at least until your teammates dispose of him.
You're not going anywhere.
His first ability, Aethershock, is a multi-target nuke which strikes up to 7 targets in a cone-like shape and is very useful for pushing out waves. Finally, his ultimate is the powerful Mass Serpent Ward, which summons 10 wards on the ground at the selected location which attack the closest target in their range. These guys can dish out some serious damage to enemies, but they are often used in tower pushes as you can throw them down near the tower and they will continually attack the tower until it dies or they expire. For this reason, Shadow Shaman is a great support hero if you want to end the game quickly, as his wards are almost impossible to defend against if the enemies have many late game or no anti-push heroes. Now there's lots of other Asus support heroes that you can try, Jakiro, Bane, or even the iconic Crystal Maiden, but I think the ones I covered in this video are the best ones for you if you're new. Thanks for watching everyone, and please make sure to hit the like button if this has helped you out. I'd love it if you can share it with your friends as well if you think it might also help them. Now my channel's here to help you get more skill, more wins, and more fun. So if you want any of those things, make sure you subscribe. I have new videos out every Friday and I'd love for you to watch them and get more out of them. Before you go, leave me a comment below on your favourite support hero in the game. I really enjoy playing Vengeful Spirit and seem to pick her more than other support heroes. I don't know why, but I find that she's a lot of fun to play. Alright, thanks everyone, I'm Blake Unlively, and God bless.